Darren, please can you just introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Darren Watson and I'm a plumber from Stockport.
Nice.
Yeah, there we go.
So you're a social housing plumber.
I am.
What is it like being a social housing plumber, and what does that kind of entail?
Well, what it is, we have different sides in a business. What I do is I do mostly the emergencies. So if anybody's got a leak, I normally end up coming out. So obviously, if you need somebody, I'd class myself as a fourth emergency service.
That's very good. I like that.
Yeah, but people are nice. The job's nice. You meet nice people. You meet different types of people, some right characters, you do meet some characters. I remember once somebody made me a brew, this is a true story,
right?
And I found soup in the bottom of it tickling my tonsils.
No.
Honestly, I was like, ah.
Oh, that's grim. Was it like a cup of soup?
Yeah,
like,
I think no. Yeah, what happened was they must have forgot to wash the mug out.
Okay, well, that's a bit grim.
I know, but you do meet. To be honest. The job, because I'm doing mostly emergencies, you don't know what you're going to come across, so it's quite varied, and I work in schools as well, which is nice, so it's nice job. I've worked for the same company 33 years.
Wow.
But I'm also a mental health support worker, so if you do sometimes see people struggling, I can get them the support they need, which I think is nice, because you don't know what anybody's going through. I'm always very aware of that when I go to somebody's house, so we can get them the support, if they're struggling, because sometimes some people have not seen anybody for a while.
Yeah, I get that. Sort of what led you into the plumbing career, and I guess the mental health one as well? How did you get into that?
Well, to be honest, when I was 23, I had my neck broke in a bad road traffic accident, and I was in a bad way. And not long after, my dad passed away. And I realised everybody was nice to me. My brother doesn't work because of depression. And I actually am seeing it over time that people are struggling a lot. Wherever you meet them, I think it's the pressures of life, money, people struggling. We've had a bad few years with COVID. So I think it's very important that when you meet somebody, you don't know what's going on in their lives. So I think if we can help somebody, we should.
Yeah,
definitely. So, but like I say, most people, are nice. And, if they do need support, we get them support, which is like extra. And it's Mental Health Week next week. And I've got a meeting at work to go over things and the courses we do, which is nice. So I'm always training, always learning. Yeah. But like I say, as well as being a plumber, I think that's important as well, because I just think if I see something, it's wrong to let it go. I think if you can help somebody wherever it is, you should do. Because that could be your mum, my mum. You don't know. You don't know what somebody's gone through. So I think that's something else, which is important.
Yeah, it's quite sort of intimate going into people's houses, I suppose, and
it is.
Coming across these sort of things.
But the thing is as well, to break the ice, I do crack a few jokes.
Yeah.
To be honest, and most people put the kettle on. To be honest, I think it's to shut me up.
Yeah, so you do comedy as well as plumbing.
Yes.
Do you find that you like to go and tell jokes to your people's houses that you go into and your clients?
I do. It's nice because some people say send him. He's friendly, he's chatty. Like just the other day, we had a bloke whose house I went to, and he said one of the other plumbers previously he opened the door to him and he just walked in, didn't even say anything to him.
Oh, wow.
So I always explain why I'm there, show him a computer, ask him to show me what it is, then I tell him what I'm going to do, then I show him what I've done, then I ask him to check it, so everything's very clear, so they can't really have any comeback. I explain what I've done, what I've fitted, why I've fitted it, and and I just check if they're all right. But most people, like I say, they're friendly, they're nice, and it does make the job enjoyable when you meet nice people. And you might go into a supermarket, bump into somebody who you've met previously, and it's nice to just be friendly, just hello, how are nice. And like I say, some people, they may have difficulties, they may not get out much, may not see people, so it lifts them up. But it's a better, nice environment to meet nice people, and be friendly. So that's nice, and I do test my jokes on them. So you're right.
Do you have any plumbing jokes that you can?
Oh yeah, I've got quite a few. Well, when I was on Britain's Got Talent, you may be shocked to hear that I was on Britain's Got Talent last year.
I was there. I was there. I'm not sure.
Okay,
I
wasn't present for this one.
Well, actually, Amanda Olden said, Darren, you must see things in houses. I said, you're right. I said, I was in a house the other day. I said, it was posh, 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 posh. I said, she had 2 toilets. Her name was Lulu.
Brilliant. Oh,
Simon Cowell said to me, why are you doing plumbing? I thought plumbers run a lot of money. So I said, you're right, I'm a plumber, but I just went for a meal with an electrician. I said, are you having a starter? I said, the electrician went straight to the mains. So I've got 1,000,001 jokes, but to be honest, I think I learn it when I'm in plumbing in houses. But I only tell quick, short jokes because if I start telling long ones, I forget the punchline. And I'm like, just get the job done.
I totally get that one. So can you show us some of the things? I've seen you've brought a bag with you.
Yes.
Can you show us what you've brought in with you today?
Pop it on the
This
table
is-
if you like.
Yeah.
This is the quick emergency kit, because I'm
Lovely.
doing mostly emergencies.
Nice.
Well, first of all, this is my plunger.
Lovely.
And what is on the plunger?
Well, to be honest, because I bottled it the first year at Britain's Got Talent, I kept forgetting my set. So what I've done is I wrote a word down for every joke. Like the first one, I've wrote clogs. So I said to Anton Deck, I said, Simon Cowell's called me out. He's dropped some Dutch shoes down his toilet. Now it's clogged up.
Love it. Yeah, so it's a
Brilliant.
plunger.
Yeah,
It's
plunger with jokes on it.
Yeah.
I've got my gloves because obviously you don't want to be touching stuff, sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just little things like a torch. You always need a torch, so if you're going under a bath or in a loft space or whatever, you need your torch.
Yeah.
And it's just grips for tightening things up. Like a basin spanner for tightening
Lovely.
taps
Yeah.
up. So
Okay.
it's just basic toolkit, grips for tightening things,
Lovely.
knives, Stanley knives. So it's just basic plumbing kits. Emergency stop taps, if
Yeah.
somebody's got a leak.
Yeah.
So thing is, I spend a lot of money on my tools because I find if you buy good tools, it makes your job a lot easier.
Yeah, definitely. I get that.
And in terms of when you started plumbing, so you've been plumbing since you were 16.
Yes.
What made you go into plumbing?
Well, to be honest, I did actually work as a graffiti artist, but I got made it, I lost my job. My mate said, was it expected? I said the writing was on the wall.
Very good.
Good one.
Yeah, well, to be
Well,
honest, I didn't know what to do. So I just thought I'll become a plumber, a 4-year apprenticeship. And if I change my mind, I can do something else. But I've blinked and 33 years have passed.
Yeah.
I'm still doing it.
Oh, have you taken on an apprentice before just because you've mentioned an apprenticeship?
Well, no, not yet. Not yet. But we've got one young lad who works with us. So, but what we normally do as a company, we normally put him with one person for 6 months,
Yeah.
then someone else for 6 months. So he gets a broad spectrum because tradesmen have different ways of working. So if a young lad can decide which is best for him at the end. So
Yeah.
he'll see somebody doing something one way and somebody else doing something another way, and he'll figure out which suits him and which is best for him. So I think that's why they do it, to break it up.
Yeah.
Plus, certain people may show him more than others as well. Because I remember a few years ago at another company, and there was one lad, and he never learnt anything because the lad wasn't showing him. He just wanted he just wanted somebody to help carry stuff,
Oh,
But
bless
luckily,
him.
the lads, we've got good plumbers I work with, and everybody's showing this young lad, which is good.
Oh,
And
that's
he's keen to learn, which is the main thing as well. He's a good worker. That's the main thing as well.
Do you
Yeah.
think there's do you think plumbing's a growing trade and
Oh,
there's
no,
more
no.
young plumbers, or do you think that it's the opposite?
No, it's the opposite. It's people are not really doing it as much. It's tailing off. I think what it is, a lot of people don't want to do any trades. I think, like if you're working outside, you're going to get wet. It's cold in winter when you can be working in an office. Why would you want to get wet or, or cold? You can be in a nice warm office. So I can understand why,
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I say, I've worked outside sometimes, and you're thinking, yeah,
Yeah.
Would be nice to be warm.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was,
Could be
it was.
indoors with a brew.
Yeah.
It'd be all right, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so, do you have any advice for people who do want to get into plumbing, or maybe what do you think could get more people to get into plumbing?
Well, I think the best thing to do is for younger people, it's the ages between like 16 to 21. You're more chance of getting an apprenticeship. But if you're older than 21, I think you could become a plumber's mate and actually work with a plumber and learn that way, as well as going to, night school off your own back or day release. Because you need to get your qualifications as well to prove you're a plumber. You can't just say you're a plumber. You've got to prove it, with your qualifications.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you'd have anybody coming into your house and, messing it up.
Yeah.
Because obviously, with plumbing, if you make a leak, it could cause a lot of damage, if you don't fix it properly or, or don't put the pipe in properly, water through your ceiling, I don't want
Yeah.
to scare you, but,
Oh no, I've had that one before. I've had water through a light fixture because of poor plumbing.
Oh,
so,
God, nightmare.
Yeah. Well, actually, speaking of nightmares and horror stories, do you have any sort of like plumbing horror stories?
Well, I was in one house the other day and a woman was saying, my neighbour keeps stealing me, my underpants off a washing line. I said, you must be upset about that. She said, I'm not bothered about that, but I do want my 37 pegs back.
Yeah. Yeah, fair
And you're
enough.
talking about that. Where I live, my neighbour was stealing me socks off washing line. My mate said, you saw your neighbour. You actually saw your neighbour stealing your socks. Why didn't you stop him? I said, well, I got cold feet.
God, I like that.
Well,
Really
what I
odd.
did is to catch him
Yeah.
out. My mate come round and he said, I'm going to fit you some CCTV. He said, right, he's in his back garden, let's just try it out. He said, Darren, I've put all my fishing equipment in your shed. He said, I'm all right storing it there for a week or two. I said, yeah, no problem. Next day, my mate come back to me, said, did you catch your neighbour on CCTV nicking your fishing equipment? I said, yeah, he took the bait.
Fantastic.
That's the best one. I
It
like that
must
one.
be a bit of a maybe not the most glamorous job at sometimes. How do you deal with the sort of more, maybe let's just say, smelly or messier aspects of plumbing? Do you have any like really bad experiences?
Yeah, well,
with...
to be honest, when you get blocked toilets and you've got to take the toilets out, it's not the best. But you do sort of get used to it. I didn't at first. At first I was, oh my God, what am I doing? But you do get used to it. You know, it's like some houses, you do meet some characters. I told Paul O'Grady this when I was on Blind Date. I said I was in one house and a young child threw a can at my head. He went, "You're joking?" I said, "It's all right, Paul, it was a soft drink."
Yes.
Amazing.
Oh my God.
I think if I can...
Wait, thing is, I used to work with a girl joiner, you know, but she left. She spent all the time painting every single nail.
Have you seen on any, like, there's been a rise in sort of plumbing videos online in terms of like plumbers who've become a little bit famous online. I don't know if you've seen the one guy who he's called Pete and he has like the handy folding bucket.
No,
have you not seen it?
No.
Oh,
as long as he doesn't kick the bucket.
Yes. Ideally, he doesn't.
I hope not.
Yeah.
No, then that question's probably not a good question. Then, but
to be honest, you do see some YouTube videos of people doing plumbing, but I think like because I'm a plumber myself, I'm always critiquing it, going, "Why has he done that?" You know, I'm like, "That's no good." Like I saw one this morning, and somebody was siliconing, and it was about 3 inches thick with silicone going around a toilet just to make it watertight. And I thought, God, he could do it with his elbow. I thought, you know, I thought, you know, so I'm critiquing it, thinking he should do it very thin, as small as possible, so it's watertight but still neat. So you do find yourself critiquing things. Like if you go out somewhere for a day and you drive past an house you've worked in, you always, "Oh, I worked in that house." You know?
Yeah. God, how just for our listeners, how thick then should the silicone be in your opinion?
Well, as thin as small as possible, as thin as possible. So it's watertight but covers everything.
Lovely.
But the thing is, I always say to people, because they do ring up sometimes, "Oh, my silicone's gone black. It's only been fitted a year ago." I say, "You've got to dry it off." I said, "When you've had a shower, dry it off."
Top tip.
Yeah, top tip. There you go.
Yeah.
Do you have any? Do you have any other like plumbing life hacks that people can, obviously not to mess up their own plumbing, but like say if someone like they've got a blocked drain or something simple, is there a simple way people can?
Well, to be honest, what I find is when people have took things apart trying to fix it, everything's in 1,000,001 pieces like Lego. So I always say, just call us out.
Yeah.
It's harder.
Probably the best life hack there
Yeah, I
is.
said it's harder to actually put somebody's job right when they've been putting, just trying themselves, because then it's harder. So you're doing double the work then.
Yeah.
So it's like when you get a job like that and it's end of day, you're like, "Oh no."
So it's a case of if you don't know what you're doing, don't take it apart.
Call a
basically.
plumber.
Call a plumber.
I always say to somebody as well, if they've done something, just be honest. Because if you go to a blocked toilet and they've dropped something down it, I have to take the toilet out. But if you don't tell me, I spend ages trying to clear it. Then I have to take the toilet out. So I do say as well, be honest. You know, or if somebody's poured fat down a sink and I can't clear it, tell me. I'll take the pipes apart. You know, so I'd prefer people...
Be honest with your plumbers.
Yeah,
basically.
you've got to be honest with your plumbers, and we'll be honest with you.
Brilliant. Right.
My dad, he was an engineer, and he used to be stood at a lathe making things with metal, and he said, "You're going out, you're meeting people, you're driving about." So in all honesty, it is a nice job, and I meeting nice people, every day is varied, and when you've actually done the job, you feel a sense of fulfilment because you've actually helped somebody, you fixed it, you've put their mind at rest. I've told them, "Don't worry, we're here to help." And I always joke, I say, we're the 4th emergency service. So in summary, like I say, it's a nice job if somebody, wants to learn plumbing, and I enjoy it, and I've done it for 33 years, so I must be doing it for, must
doing
enjoy it for
right,
that, for 33 years.
Definitely.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you very
Darren.
much, Darren. Yes.
And I appreciate your time.
We appreciate yours.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.